on satellite camps?
A position on satellite camps.
Against them or not against them?
For us, it's probably beneficial to some other people around the country to be able to, we had some of the Mountain West schools that were here. For us, we have so many kids that come to our campus, and through the summer that we see the majority that we need to see.
It's not something you're really gonna ever get behind.
No, it's something that we've had a great tradition of camps here, and so you look at all these kids that are on our team. I bet you 75% of them came through our camp. I mean, as far as what I remember, the Leonard Williams and the Nelson Aguilars, being here for camp, it's something that I think has been a tradition for us here, the Rising Stars camp.
You guys, turns out I guess Pac-12 is in the same position as the SEC on camps.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
They voted against it.
Yeah. But for us, it is what it is. They come up with the rules. It's our job to follow them.
You've been coaching Max Brown for a while now, but did you learn anything about him this spring?
I tell you what, I've always thought he's an extreme quarterback with great poise and game management. He never seems to get flustered. He's just got an even temperament about him. And he's one of those guys, I think, that do a great job of going to the next play. He doesn't let one failure on a play affect him the next 3 or 4, and that's what you want to see from a great quarterback. All right, I'll go ahead and get started. You all ready?
I thought we were.
No, I'm going to go ahead. I give as long as I could. It was a great Tuesday. Obviously, this is our last shoulder pads practice before the spring game. We'll come back Thursday and have our final shorts practice. It'll be a lot of some of our drill work and kind of the tempo that we go through for our summer player run practices, kind of the organization of that, so our guys can be ready to do practices on their own during the summer. Today, I really thought one thing really stood out to me, and I commend both T and Tyson for what they're doing with the tight ends and how much they're getting them into the game plan, and then the development of the 3 tight ends, just to see how Taylor, Tyler, and Daniel are doing. When you look at the run period with play action, hitting those kids down the middle of the field, I was really impressed with what they can do, pushing the ball deep down the middle. Each one brings speed to the game and brings good vertical speed, and they're doing a great job of making it made it one of their emphasis coming into spring about getting the ball to the tight end, and I think they're doing a really, really nice job, and it really showed today. I think that was probably the best practice we've had of pushing the ball downfield to the tight ends. With that, I'll answer any questions that you have.
Is that something that developed? Did you know in advance that's really what you wanted to do, or have you seen it develop through the spring and said, let's go with that?
Yeah, I think it's one of the things as you look at even what Tyson brought from Western Kentucky, and you look what they did with their tight ends. They were a huge staple of that offense, and T and Tyson, I thought, really sat down and did a great job of doing the installation and really putting the tight end as a centerpiece of not only the outside receivers, but that matchup with that big body. It's something that I commend them for, and then I commend the kids, the 3 tight ends, on their performance through spring. I thought it was evident today. I thought Daniel made a couple big plays down the middle of the field, 2 explosion plays there in team runs. So it's good to see those guys show up. It's one of those things, if you're doubling the receivers on the outside, your tight end's got to win down the middle. It's their time, and I think they're doing a really nice job of that, and it's really progressed through camp, and I thought today was definitely the best day for them.
Are these the most athletic tight ends you've had, with 3 of them?
They remind me, they're not the big physical blocking tight ends, not that they don't want to. They're more than capable of doing it, but they're really the first thing that we want with our tight ends is the ability to press the field vertically and be pass threats, and then in the run game develop them as run blockers. These guys remind me of the Jordan Camerons that were here, the Red Ellisons. They do a very, very nice job in the passing game, and all 3, if you look at them, were kind of flex tight ends or big flex receivers in high school that have now come back to that tight end position. Now they're 240, 245 pounds, 250, and really doing a nice job of being a mismatch against a linebacker or safety.
How much does it make Callaway's job harder, the fact that there hasn't been consistency with that O-line coaching position?
I think I can't tell you how proud I am of him, because he's really one of the things, and I really told him the other day about, he's really developing a unit between those guys. So it's the best I've heard them communicate with one another just standing behind since I've been here. And the toughness and the physicality that he's bringing, as you look at it, when you go back and you look at the film, they have more individual reps than any other group. I mean, they are going constantly, and he is riding them like a good O-line coach should do. And I commend him for the progress that he's made with it. We got some more to go, yes, but he's made huge strides. And anytime that you have a change of different O-line coaches, yeah, it puts you behind the 8 ball. But what he's done in this camp, if he continues to do that, we'll be ready for the season with that group. It's an experienced group, and you can tell, especially the ones.
Is his presence carrying over to the entire football team?
Neil Callaway, yeah, it's something that he just exudes toughness, exudes physicality. He truly believes that when you run the ball, you're taking the will of your opponent, and those are some of the things that we're trying to do at the end of our team runs with full pass, putting the ball down and say we're running power to the right side 3 times, see if you can stop it. That's the type of mentality you have to have as an offensive line, especially a USC offensive line. That hey, we will run the ball when we want to, and I think that's the attitude that he's bringing, and that's what I've wanted. That's what I've known since I knew him in college as a player. I've seen him as a coach, and now to have him back and be a part of it, it's really carrying over to our players and our whole offense. That's a great question.
How are some of the position battles on the offensive line kind of shaping up?
And I tell you what, it's really going good, especially, the tackles are probably further along, really with Zach and Chad, even though Chuma's, having a nice camp. Nate's developing, he should still be in high school right now, but the battles are really going, I think, at the guard position. We're really fortunate to have 4 talented players there with Damian, Vianney, Jordan, and Chris. Those 4 players right now are battling inside and out, and every day coach has got them changing, seeing how they're reacting with the 1, see how they react when they go with the 2s, and it's been a great battle. I think it's going to be one that carries through training camp, and the best one who's playing the best going into Alabama will be the starter.
You might have addressed this at the beginning, but are you thinking you're going to make an announcement on the quarterbacks this week?
I'm going to let it go through spring. I'm going to let it go through the spring game and then make a decision. If I had to call it right now, I'll just be honest. I don't think there's a huge gap between the quarterbacks right now. Max definitely shows the game management and the poise that we want. He made some great decisions today, but if I had to choose right now, it probably would go on through camp. I promise you I'm going to have a decision before that first game. I'm not playing 2 quarterbacks, but I want to take it through the spring game and that atmosphere, see how the guys react to that presence of being on TV and having fans around, and that'll be really our first time really to have that for those kids, and see how they react, and then make a good decision from there. But it's my ultimate goal is to be ready for that first game. Just realistic, really, right now I'm not quite ready to make that decision.
If you take it through the spring game, does that mean you might make a decision in May, or would it go to training camp?
No, it'll be shortly after the spring game. I'm not going to let it. I'll be able to watch the tape. I'll have a gut feeling from there. I'm not going to lead anybody on or hide any secrets or anything like that. It's, if I feel like there's a huge gap, then I'll make a decision. If I feel like, that I'll give Sam credit and the other quarterbacks credit. They've really progressed through this camp and have played well, and they deserve the right to compete, just like every other position. We'll have other positions that are going to be competition because there's new kids coming in. There's guys coming off injury that are going to play major factors. So there'll be other competitions, and the quarterback position is no different.
Anything else, guys?
All righty, guys. Appreciate it.